Hi, my name's Shawn Shaler. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek of YouTube and X and Blue Sky fame. Blue Sky. Can you be a Blue Sky fame yet? Is that the caliber of Blue Sky player
I
yet?
heard, I heard, I think I heard, you know how Twitter posts used to be called tweets,
Yes.
right? I've heard that Blue Sky is trying to get their posts to be called skeets.
So you'll
And
have all the skeets. That's true.
Adaptation says skeet. So I don't think they know what skeet means.
They can't. There's no way. There's no way they can't.
Skate. And he's like, there's some white executive was like, wait, ski means that? Oh my gosh, what have we done? And it's like playing on the radio. That song is so freaking. Well, I'm not, I am. I highly dislike hypocrites. Um, and I'm probably somewhat of a hypocrite when it comes to music around my time.
Are we all?
Because
Are we all?
yeah, music nowadays, I'm like I can't listen to some of this stuff. But 10th grade me, to the windows, to the wall,
We
to
hadn't.
the sweat drop down my.
To me,
Oh, it is such a to all ski, not a few of us, to all
not
of them. They were very inclusive
everybody
and to
all at
everybody.
once. Everybody all at once. Go at the same time. Listen, it's really hard to blame ourselves for anything and choices we made before we were paying our own bills to be alive. In my mind, that's when you can start like looking back at yourself and be like, I wish I hadn't done anything prior to that time. I take limited accountability for which songs I did and did not enjoy.
I mean, I still enjoy it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Just that
that's
the song
fine.
came on today, I'll be like, it
That just means it's catchy. That just means it's catchy. What
is, it is very
today?
catchy.
This actually fits in beautifully, Chris. Today I got the "Fu CeeLo Green" song stuck in my head. You know, when you
Okay.
get a song stuck in your head, the only way to get it out is to just go listen to the full song. So I had to actively search for that song in YouTube. You know what? Then YouTube thinks that I really want to listen to all of CeeLo Green's songs, which I do not. No offense to CeeLo Green or his fans. Not my jam, personally.
I love Crazy. Crazy is a
Okay,
great
yeah,
song.
that's a good one. Uh, I would argue I find that more catchy than FU, just less iconic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But anyway, I had to actively, and then YouTube's just like, all right, let's get the whole. YouTube's so excited that somebody searched for CeeLo Green today.
Yeah.
So jacked. Anyway, college time probably for us. The CeeLo Green hits. Chris, how it's been a couple weeks since we talked, and then flip flopping the episodes the order we record always messes with my brain. But it's been a couple weeks since we talked. As far as the listeners are concerned, how are you? Have you been? What have you been up to?
Fine. Put it best.
You're shaking your head. You're
Uh,
saying fine. You're shaking your head, and you look like there's pain in your eyes.
nothing I can control, Sean. It's okay.
Noted.
Just, just go on living my life as best as I can. This past week, it's been fine, been good. I've been getting back, been I don't know, thinking more, just getting back into Avatar, getting back into a few different things. Getting more into Dragon Ball Z lately, which has been pretty fun. Like I've gone back and watched some Dragon Ball, like a little bit stuff there. Um, so it's just kind of fun nostalgia trips. Like I don't know, it's been a kind of weird kind of look back at those things. I feel like restarting a show. I think I might start a rewatch of The Good Place. I've been kind of going back and forth between a couple things. I tried to rewatch How I Met Your Mother because I was very much in a Christina Milioti mode.
Okay.
Christina Milioti, if you don't know, she is the mother from How I Met Your Mother. Because I was in that mode because 8 weeks or so ago, yeah, 8 weeks ago, the spinoff to the Batman came out, the TV show. Not the TV show, The Batman. The movie, The Batman, that came out in 2022, had a spin-off show about the Penguin, right? So that came out about 8 weeks, and it featured Christina Milioti. I think I'm saying her name right. Um, she's a great actress. I really like her a lot in things she's in. But that show was fantastic. It ended
Hmm.
really great. Like freaking had a great finale. Like the show starts off pretty good and stuff, and it just gets better and better each episode to the finale. Like finale, they completely stuck the landing on it. Great finale. A lot of people are singing his praises. The Penguin as a character, Colin Farrell. I mean, he was great in the Batman, but almost like a side character. And here it's like, no, learn the depths of the Penguin, and a lot of people love it for like the penguin. They don't try to romanticize or sympathize with the penguin. It's like, no, he is a villain. But it's weird because he is the protagonist of the story. Um, but so that was a great show, which then made me go back and watch the Batman, which I've fallen asleep to about 3 days in a row now because it's a long movie.
Hmm.
And watching movies late, I can't watch movies late at night. I'm just going to fall asleep. Like I can't do it. I have to watch the day. So working back to that, and I love that movie even more now.
Excellent. I too had a nostalgic, a weird week. And you know what? Listen, sometimes you control what you can control. Continue to lead by being a good example for people around you. Do what you can. And then I too kind of diverted, maybe for related reasons, maybe not, into like nostalgic things. So Gio and I started playing Halo. We played in a Halo 2 tournament. It was like the 20th anniversary of Halo 2. So we played in a Halo 2 tournament. I started watching, Brooklyn
Were you big
Nine-Nine.
in Halo? Did you play Halo when like it was like on Xbox and 360? Well, I think
Not a ton, I would say a little bit, but just like the idea of that generation of video games remains my favorite generation from like that's when I started playing video games, PS2, Xbox, GameCube, Dreamcast to a lesser extent, and then like the Game Boy Advance. That's when I started playing, actively seeking out video games that just weren't in the basement already. You know what I mean? Like, oh well, we had the Nintendo and the whatever games. No, that's when I started seeking them out. So even though I'm not a huge Halo person, it a lot of nostalgia for me. And then Brooklyn Nine-Nine's not really nostalgic, but just like comfort food of TV shows. So I too had a nostalgic week, and we've been playing lots of video games, and it's been good in that sense. So I
I've
feel
been
like
so tempted to go back and watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine because like I just come across random clips of it. I'm like, man, I really like the show. Like I watched like just like a 15-minute montage of Jake and Amy's best moments. And I'm like, man, they are just. I wonder, I wonder what are my favorite relationships, my favorite ships, and my favorite shows. That'll be
we
interesting.
you
So
and I talked a little bit about Captain Holt and how he might be one of the more, at least in my mind, one of the more engaging characters on a screen in a TV show. Just engaging in a
yeah,
sense like when he's on screen, I'm with him, whether it's funny intentionally, funny unintentionally, serious, whatever. Like I've always got my eyes on
so
him.
sometimes I have somewhat of an inner monologue in my head, or it's just me if I'm talking to myself, and like I'll think it's like I'll either be watching something. I have somewhat of a catchphrase to my own self. Like if you say when you sent me that question of I forgot what the specific question was. I know it's between like who's the most well
I was essentially, but like,
was it
just I was thinking about Abed. I was thinking about my favorite characters, and Abed and Captain Holt are two of my favorite characters in anything. I was just trying to decide which of those characters just like has me on a hook more and why.
yeah. So when you sent me that question, my inner monologue went, "Ooh, that's a really cool question." Because like I didn't have an answer like right away. Although my
Sure,
gut,
sure.
as I told you, is probably Holt. And then the more I thought about it, like, okay, yeah, it definitely is Holt. And that's no disrespect to Abed. Abed is like freaking he's Abed.
He is the
But
protagonist of that show, no matter what anybody else says.
interesting. It's hard.
It's
To-
not Jeff, it's
Um,
Abed, 100%.
I I agree that it's not Jeff.
Fair enough.
No,
It's
probably.
actually, it's actually, what's it, the Dean Rash? What's his Jim? It's actually Jim Rash. It's the Dean. You didn't even know
Maybe.
it. It's all in his.
Um,
It's all in his imagination. He's tripping balls, and we're just watching his fantasies play out.
although maybe technically speaking, the protagonist probably changes every episode.
It does
Dan
probably.
Harmon is,
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
yeah, Holt is such a Holt, and we talked about this. I will just regurgitate what I said. Holt grabs your attention for a multitude of reasons, and weirdly enough, it's because he's the straight man.
Mm.
Ironically, because he's gay in the show. Because he's the because he's the straight man, and because he's the straight man, and because he is the leader of the whole group, everything runs through him, and everyone's relationships and their reactions to him. He is kind of the conduit. He's the center point of the whole show. Um, so you're ready to see his reaction to things and how other people react from his reactions, because he'll either be just very straight, or he'll be um, funny himself in whatever way he is, or he'll be emotional and dramatic and things. So even ironically, as the straight man, he is the most dynamic character of probably man, maybe any show that
Probably in my mind, like any
any
comedy for sure.
comedy.
I spend a lot of time
Yeah,
thinking about comedies. I can't branch too far out of that, but I spend a
yeah.
lot of time thinking about, is there a character that does that more than he does in Brooklyn Nine Nine? I think to every show I thought of, I'm pretty confident the answer is no. That's one
It's
man's
funny
show
when
limitations, though.
yeah, and thinking about Avatar, my first when I was trying to think of a comp, my first thought was Aang because Aang can get very dramatic, but he can be funny also. Um, and Sokka's more like I like Sokka's funny most of the time, but he has those moments of of seriousness. But 85% of the time, he's funny Sokka, and 95% of the time, Abed is funny Abed. While Holt is like it's unexpected. It,
But
it's hard to see. And then
but
it's funnier when he's
Abed kind of is also the straight man. Like a lot of the show revolves around him
his
connecting pieces
yeah
between other people's and other storylines. I don't always feel that
yeah.
like Aang, for example. I don't get that like Aang isn't usually the conduit.
Oh
He's just the focal point, you know. And not that that
yeah
invalidates him from the argument, but it feels like a different class of character.
yeah yeah definitely I wouldn't say he's on that level. I was just trying to think of what is the closest thing to that, and it still doesn't. Like Holt is still
Yeah,
man. Like what other things? There are so many people. There are so many characters across different comedies who do play the straight man. Like it is a trope for a reason. Um, but Holt just does it so well. Because also there'll be times where Holt is not the straight man. Like when when uh once once when Wunsch comes around, all that goes out the window for Holt.
once time is over, boom, got them both.
Yeah, got them both. My favorite line delivery is when she shows up and he's like, "If you're here, who's guarding the gates of
Of
Hades?"
Hades, it's so dumb, and I love it.
Oh my gosh.
It's fantastic. I just got through. It's like early season 4, maybe, to the episodes where they're in. Help me out here. Protective. What's that called? Like they're living in Florida under protective whatever,
Yeah,
And so Holt
Um,
is pretending to be straight, and he's walking with the walking group of ladies, and he keeps making
yeah,
references about straight men loving breasts. Every time it kills me. It's not my favorite set of episodes by any stretch. They make fun of Florida a
it's
lot,
a
which is
weird,
funny. But he's
it's a
more.
weird set. Yeah,
He's even his not Larry or Greg, whichever one he is, character, just the Holt character is more emotional in these episodes across the board, and it's just a side of him that I like a little less, but still funny episodes.
yeah. Like I said, I've been tempted to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I feel like my most recent watch was too soon. It was too recent. I
Mine
think I
probably was
gotta,
too, if we're being
I
honest.
gotta. it's a. Sorry. I also need to finish watching. I need to get a rewatch of Avatar, and I started some time ago. I need to start up. I think the end of start of season 3, and then I need to finish. I need to watch Korra again. Man,
There's
it's been a while since it might have been over a year since I watched Korra.
I need to
So much
watch
good TV.
Korra. I haven't watched Korra through since we finished episodes outside. Need to watch Korra. It's that there's so few things. I want background noise on during the day. I do get lonely. It's a weird thing, but I think we can accept that as a society working from home. That like I get lonely and I want stuff on the background. I think it helps me. There's so few things that I'm comfortable having on the background because it has to be just the right amount of like familiar voices with which I have positive mental association, but not at all engaging or distracting. Like it's from work, it's a really limited bucket that hits those criteria. Baseball works really well. Calm noises where occasionally something happens. I just like the sounds and the vibes. Comedies where my attention is not demanded. That's about it.
Hmm.
Limited buckets of things, and then I get caught in a loop. But such is life. Chris, let's talk about the. I completely forget what we're supposed to be talking about. Oh, the casting update, season 2 casting update for live action Avatar: The Last Airbender.
All right, Are you ready to butcher some names? My apologies beforehand.
Just wait till next
I,
week when I butcher the name of a person who's lived with me for 3 months.
yeah, it's not Giovanni, it's Giovanni. I didn't know that the I was kind of silent. Giovanni sounds Giovanni sounds like the American version of Giovanni. Like, hey, Giovanni.
When in reality, it's the exact
Yeah,
opposite. The American version of Giovanni is Giovanni. Like, but he's used to it. I think he's over it. Over trying to correct
that's funny.
people.
One of my kids, I say kids. Jeez, he's freaking old now. Um, man, time's gone by.
Are you not
From
referencing
camp.
one of your actual kids? Like you're like, it's funny
No,
I
no,
call
I'm
them
not.
kids. Like, yeah, Chris, those are yours. They they live with you.
One of my campers, my first big
Gotcha.
camp, his name is Giovanni, and we just call him Gio. But now he's like 19 in college and stuff. That's why I was like, man, time's gone by. Now I really don't know what his race is, because I don't think he's Italian.
His like we live in a Hispanic neighborhood, and sometimes I see or hear Giovanni in a I don't know how to say it, in a Hispanic sense where I believe it is spelled just like Jov, and then ANNI or ANNY or something, but it's just JOV instead of GIO. But it's not uncommon to have the name Giovanni in Spanish, or I don't know,
Okay.
maybe Central America specifically.
Yeah, think he's Hispanic because that's just what I would assume from this area. Like, there's anyway, not important. But
What matters is that
um,
we're old and time flies.
yeah, gosh, yeah. That's funny. He tried last camp I was at, which is more than a year ago now. Oh man, I didn't go to camp last year. He came back as a camp counselor, which is great. We love those stories of kids coming back and volunteering for the camp. Um, So he was camp counselor with the. He was like, Chris, I think I beat you in an arm wrestling competition. I was like, all right, let's try. And I was fully confident just because I think I have old man strength now, and yeah, I was, beat him. Um, but
Old man strength is real. It's
it,
I don't know where it comes
it,
from, but it happens.
at some point when the creeks start coming in, I don't know, those muscle fibers go somewhere. But
I was on a ladder today taking down, we have a sunshade, so like a big piece of fabric over our back patio. And it's just one of those things where I don't know, I feel like 2 or even 3 years ago I wouldn't have given it a second thought. But today it's like, wow, just being like 4 or 5 feet up. If I fell, just just being falling from this height would probably hurt myself somehow. On soft grass, I'd twist an ankle, break a hip. I don't know, something bad would happen just from this minor fall, almost certainly. Anyway, be safe on
uh,
ladders, kids. Be safe on ladders.
all right, back to names. A lot of these actors I don't know.
Fair enough.
But the biggest casting I do know. So first casting announcement. His name is Chin Han, and he will be playing Long Fang. Long Fang, of course, the leader of the Dai Li. I would have rather had BD Wong. So, where you know this actor from? I know you know this actor. He was the Chinese guy in The Dark Knight.
Let me give it a quick Google.
Oh, you don't remember that off the top of your head, Sean? Maybe you haven't seen
Is
The
there
Dark Knight.
only one Chinese guy in the Dark Knight?
There's only one Chinese guy in The Dark Knight. He's the banker guy who well, not the banker guy, but he's one that smuggles the mob's money.
Okay, got you. Uh, he's did other stuff too. Like his face was already familiar in that movie to me. I feel like. Any other
Oh,
big
not to
ones?
me, not. Let me look up. Dang it. What? 1 second. Yes, opening Chrome browser so I can Google other things. Chin Han. Other things he's been in. He's been in. He was in Mortal Kombat. Oh, he was in Mortal Kombat. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, because he played um who's the guy who's always evil who steals souls?
I hated the Mortal Kombat, the old movies, and you know, wait, he's in the new one, right?
Yeah, he's in the new one.
Okay.
Shao Kahn. Shao
Okay.
Kahn?
Yeah, that sounds right.
I think.
Not Shere Khan from Jungle Book. Shao Kahn. Too close. Okay. And Mortal. Oh, he's gonna be. There's a Mortal Kombat 2, of course. Why not?
No,
Listen,
I'm sorry.
I accept
Shen,
that it
Shen,
was the
Shang
best.
Shang Tsung. That's the name. Shang Tsung.
I accept that that was the best Mortal Kombat movie, but that just doesn't mean it was a good movie.
Yeah. So I'm kind of iffy on this cast announcement. Not because it's not a good casting. I blame myself because I was a little bit tied to BD Wong in this role. I think BD Wong would have killed it in this role. The part that I'm iffy on, which is a I wouldn't even say issue because I have nothing to base this off of right now. Um, is I feel like the characters he typically plays feels a little. He plays manipulative characters, but they feel like more manipulative, squeamish, like more like Littlefinger, and less like to me. Longfang isn't Littlefinger. Like he has, like he's voiced by, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Famous voice actor. He was in the Penguin.
I'm I am less than useful in this exercise.
Clancy Brown. There we go. Clancy
Okay.
Brown.
Okay.
He voices Mr. Krabs. Um,
Naturally,
but
because why not?
but like he like his voice is like I'm here and like you thought you could do this and I feel like this actor is more like oh I'm going to manipulate things and like his hey is to me he just kind of plays more of a weaker. character. And Long Feng doesn't necessarily have to be strong, but I don't know. I never get like threat. Long Feng feels threatening at times, and I don't get that from a lot of this actor's roles. That being said, he is an actor, and he would probably do pretty well at what's asked of him to do. So a lot of it probably depends on the direction he's given.
But I mean, I in my limited actor scope. Uh, Again, not a ballpark I'm comfortable in. Just face value. You know what? He looks like he'll make a good long thing, and he seems like he could be an intellectually devious character. So I'll give it a generic thumbs up. Why not?
Yeah. All right. Next role is Justin Chien, and he will be playing the Earth King. He has been in. I'm not that familiar with him, but
I'm
he
just
has
going
been in.
straight to IMDb.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing too.
The
I
brothers,
feel like I've
the
seen him.
the brothers' son.
That yes, which I thought about watching on Netflix. It looked good, but I'm pretty sure it got canceled.
I think I can honestly say that I have never heard of any of the movies I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, The Brother's Son is on Netflix. I thought about watching it, but yeah, it got canceled, and so I did not watch it. But hey, he looks fine for the role.
Sure.
My my pick for that role would have been Randall Park, aka Jim Halpert, aka
Oh,
Sexiest Man
nice.
Alive.
Sexiest man
But
alive, Jim Halpert,
he,
but the Asian guy, not the. Props to you for not seeing race.
that's one of the that's one of the best running jokes that just continues to run
I love that people
outside of
mess
the
with it.
show.
It's like the John Cena of comedy TV. Like it's just the trope that
Yeah,
keeps going.
think that was one of the best cold opens.
It was. That was fantastic. Just
Like
having the
he
picture and
just
everything. It's
yes,
so
the
thoughtful.
picture. Yeah.
And keeping
I'm
in
not even a
mind,
huge The Office fan,
yeah,
but
nor
yeah.
am I. I was just about to say, keeping in mind, I don't think either one of us cares for The Office. Not opposed to it, but
I've watched every episode, and there are episodes that I find hilarious. I think my biggest issue is that I really don't like Michael Scott.
I
Like,
don't. Nope. There are too many episodes where I want to punch myself in the face. There are too many of those episodes.
yeah, it's like no, you are in the wrong in this. Like you like stop acting like a child. You can't be that dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
You're a grown man with a job. Oh, I forgot to ask in the last no, is this episode that for Halloween, not that we're together ever on Halloween, but I do feel like we should go as Doug Judy and Mangy Carl just once. Obviously, I'll be Doug Judy and you'll be
what?
Mangy Carl. No, just
Absolutely.
absolutely. Don't
Think
judge
about
us.
me when you smushing tonight.
Think about
He made a mistake.
We got songs about smushing. We got songs you can smush to. Got songs for the kids. So good. That guy's a great actor. Sorry, I was thinking about The Office, and then I've watched every episode of The Office at least one time. I watched it through one time. That is probably the last
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
I don't hate it. I gotta clarify. I don't hate it.
yeah. All right, next up, casting Amanda Zhu as Judy. So a lot of my reactions to this casting is just like, oh, I'm glad they're doing this character, and I'm glad they're doing this storyline
Yeah,
because there's so
agreed.
much that happened in season two that I could see them omitting some things.
Because
So yeah,
season
they
two
got
is
Judy.
big. It's like there's a lot to cover in season two. You can't skip as much.
Yeah, yeah.
She's been in movies I've heard of. It Chapter Two. Pardon me. And Handmaid's Tale. I haven't seen either one, but I'm familiar with those.
From Halloween, I made my daughter watch the first It movie. And I kind of forgot how gruesome it is.
Isn't there like some graphic nudity in there also?
No,
In the book, maybe? In the book, I feel like there's some
the
graphic.
book is
Some
The
graphic
book is crazy.
coitus. Yes.
The end of the book, they have an orgy essentially. From what I understand, that did not
Normal
make it.
Stephen King stuff, you know.
And well, actually, I wouldn't say an orgy because that would imply that the more like a gangbang, I guess. But glad that it did not make it to the movie.
Good
But
call.
even even then, there was some stuff that when I watch certain things in my daughter, they're like sensitive topics. I'm like this, what this person's doing is this, and this is wrong, and this is wrong because of this and stuff. Because like in that movie, the main character, she's abused by her father, in various ways. And some of that stuff I did fast forward to, but I explained it while I was fast. And it's not even in the movie. It's not like they just don't show anything. They imply a bunch. But even then, I don't like that.
Yeah, understandable.
It's still a great movie. I love that movie.
Hmm?
I think it's a great scary movie. All right. Crystal Yu. Her name sounds very familiar, and she looks familiar to me.
I've got her
Crystal
pulled
Yu will
up.
be
She.
playing
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Lady Bei Fong. So just Toph's mother, I'm assuming.
Nice. She looks very young to play. I guess ageable. She's been in a lot of
Shawn.
video
We,
games.
Shawn, we are Shawn, we are the age. It's hard for me to remember this also, but we are the age of parents of the characters in Avatar.
You stop it. I won't hear it. I'm a first-time father, and it's a
We
normal
are,
trajectory.
we are not the main characters, Shawn.
I
No
love
longer we are no longer the main characters in sci-fi or YA stuff or uh yeah.
the greatest joy of pregnancy, other than just the literal pregnancy so far, has been either order. Either I'll tell somebody we've been married 12 years, and then they'll say how many kids you have. I'll be like, that one in their belly right there. Or vice versa. I'll be like, we're pregnant. And they'll be like, is this your first? I'll be like, yeah, we've been married 12 years. Like, so either direction, it's a lot of fun to get people's. Because then they assume it's an accident, and then that's kind of funny too.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable. A lot of video games though for Crystal U, which is cool. Doctor
Okay.
Who, The Sandman. Those aren't video games.
She in Sandman?
It says she
Who is she
is.
playing?
It says one episode as a person named Jackie, if that helps you.
Okay.
It doesn't help
I
me.
really like.
I heard it was good, probably from you. I
Hey,
have to imagine.
I know. Oh yeah, Sandman's great. I feel like I know. I feel like I've seen this actress in things. She's 36.
I'm not going to
Hmm.
comment any further on her age.
She's as old as me. No, she's yeah. That's weird. Her face looks so familiar, but I
Yeah.
don't looking at her stuff. I haven't seen her anything. But yeah. Oh, the thing I want to point out here is that they don't have a role noted, at least yet, for Toph's father, and so I'm guessing in this uh iteration, Toph's mom will be playing more of that heavier role than her father. That's my guess right now. And yeah, sure, that makes sense. And
Appears reasonable.
yeah, it's a fine enough change. Uh, this is at first one of my biggest disappointments. The next casting choice, and then now I'm like, yeah, we'll be fine. Um, Kelemete Mesapika as the Boulder. One thing, glad to see the Boulder is in here. Glad they're
Same.
keeping that in because they could have easily just not have it in there. Um, so my personal, I still think it would have been great, and it would have made sense. Is can't get the Rock. Whoever thought they could get the Rock, you're crazy to think that.
Okay, you're
This,
crazy, but you're a dreamer, and I respect that.
yeah,
It's a great
yeah,
dream.
yeah. No offense to that. Just because you're you're crazy to think that. Doesn't mean it's not a good idea. It's a great idea.
It's a
Just
impractical.
the Rock. I won't say the Rock is.
He's still
The
the
Rock would
highest
be to me.
grossing actor in Hollywood, isn't he?
Yeah, probably. And also, I don't think his ego, rightfully so, would allow him to have a 5 minute role in Netflix's probably seventh biggest show of the year.
Well, when you word it so enticingly like that.
But I thought they could have got Roman Reigns to be that character. Kind of feel the same thing. Like, all right, bring in a WWE wrestler. He looks. He could pull off that look. He's um, he would have fit the role really well.
It's a shame that it's not like a famous wrestler just as a nod, and there's so many famous wrestlers that become mediocre actors. It's kind of a
Yeah.
shame that it's just a regular actor, but at a glance he looks right for the role. And Boulder, I don't know, on the surface you want a good voice. I'm sure he has a lovely voice for the Boulder, and you want him to look
He,
like a wrestler.
I never heard him talk before, but so he was in a. He was also speaking of The Rock. Speaking of Roman Reigns, uh, he's also Samoan. Um, and they were all in the movie Hobbs and Shaw.
I
There was
thought
that part where The Rock goes back to Hawaii or whatever, meets up with his family, and they all do a dance and fight. That sounded
I
too, but they all fight the bad guy.
I thought you were gonna make an awesome pun because I'm just reading this. I didn't know this in advance, but there's a Night at the Museum. Kamen Ra rides again from 2022, and he plays the Easter Island head voice, which is a giant rock, aka a boulder. Adorable. Anyway, I went way too far for not very good joke, but it made me laugh. It's a big loop.
Let me. Okay, wait. There's a short video that I'm gonna watch real quick with him in it,
Sure, I'm gonna
just so I can
put.
get a,
I'm gonna bring up the next person on IMDb.
just so I can get a sense of his voice. Okay, get through these
Oh,
freaking. Okay, get through the to
another
that.
Sandman appearance. How about that?
Oh,
Just one episode again.
what the heck is this guy? Okay, go get to this guy's voice. Okay, I have no idea.
Oh, interesting.
The short film was really weird.
Starring Kelemete?
Yeah,
Huh.
never mind that. Never mind that crap. Whatever that crap was, never mind that. But he's in it somewhere.
This next person,
Oh, okay,
scroll
sorry. Okay.
no, scrolling through. Just I'm scrolling through the IMDb, and it's like the most interesting. Not interesting to me personally, but interesting as a collective unit. Set of just like straight to TV movies and short films and indie films. Like you're looking at this, and I don't know how to say it nicely, but it does. It has a vibe to it. But then
Hmm.
she was in. Again, I kind of like seeing when people have voices in video games. That always catches my eye, at least. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name now. I'm going to let you try.
All right, yeah. Oh, there's. Are you talking about the Hoa Zwande?
Oh no, the Lords Faberis.
Uh, that sounded fine enough. Lourdes Fabares. I don't
Perfect.
know. As General Song, that's interesting because I assume this is some Earth Kingdom general, and we haven't seen a female Earth Kingdom general, so that's cool there. And then some new character named Amita, played by Rika Sharma, and then Hoa Zwande as Professor Z, which means they'll probably go to maybe they'll go to the library. Who knows?
Hope so.
I can see them not going to the library just because.
I
Although,
it's
there's
not that
so
it's
much,
impassable, but I do want that to happen. That's an important one for me.
so much stuff happens in book two. Like
Yeah.
it is
So, but they did pull
so.
some of it out, and when I say some of it, I mean the secret tunnel scene. They pulled
Well,
some of
also
the important pieces out.
you don't have to introduce May and Ty Lee. Yeah, they put out some other stuff.
But it's still there's a lot to season two can be tricky. And then that
Oh yeah.
the whole Juan Day, who's again just butchering the poor person's name. They don't deserve this. But A Stitch in Time, Cowboy Bebop, anything else I've heard of? Not me personally. But again, I have the least broad no knowledge of actors in movies and TV. And what are they playing? I didn't even see. They're playing Professor Zay, the anthropological guy. So hopefully that means that there will be the Wanchiton Library.
Yeah.
Hope so, at least. That's that looks like the whole group.
That's the whole group. No other really updates. I think from no other updates from the show.
Chris, oddly enough, in that case, as soon as we get done here, I think Netflix will let me watch from the beginning. I think I'm gonna go watch the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight.
Me and my wife are watching. My wife's somewhat mad at me because not because she was like, "Oh, hey, you gonna watch the fight?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll probably watch it." She's like, "Oh, cool, we can watch it together." I was like, "All right." And then she like starts at 7, and then like read the time. I was like, "Oh yeah, this fight's not really gonna start until like 11 o'clock."
Yeah, a couple
I
undercards or
was like,
whatever.
"Yeah," I was like, "I gotta record a podcast or something." And then she was playfully mad at me.
I
Maybe not play.
I
Uh,
think I'm
but I was
hoping
like,
I can get.
we haven't recorded it in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, my bad on last week, folks. And I think Netflix will let me start from the beginning of the event,
Yeah,
and I don't care about the
yeah. So
undercards. I'll probably just try to scroll carefully.
there's one good undercard fight. You know what the weird thing is, is that I only watched 2 of the undercard fights. Um, I find bots watch the fight that a lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, this is a really great fight." And while I watched the fight, I thought to myself, "Oh, this is good." Sometimes it's boring, but it's good. And also, just to know, I don't watch boxing typically ever,
Yeah, I have
really ever.
very little frame of
Um,
reference.
but I went on, Blueski and Twitter. People were like, amazing fight," and then I'm like, "Oh, this boxing is not my sport because if that was like one of the best fights, I can't watch this sport because it's boring a lot of
Yeah,
the time."
I
Like,
gotta confess, I'm not watching for boxing. I don't know a thing about it. I'm just human intrigue of watching a 15-year-old accused rapist. I don't remember actually.
which one?
Mike Tyson? Did he get? Was he
Uh,
convicted of rape? I can't Google it because I don't want to see the outcome of the fight. I don't want to misaccuse Mike Tyson. He went to prison. 58 year
I don't.
old.
I'm not sure. He not to. He might have.
I,
I'm really not sure. I know
I'm
he
not
hit.
either.
I know he hit his wife,
Fifth.
and
Yep.
as a um as having one of the most dangerous hands in history of the world. One thing wouldn't matter anyway. It wouldn't matter if he was the weakest person ever.
Yeah. Wrong is
Um,
wrong is wrong
but
is wrong. Right.
yeah, but I know he definitely hit his wife. His wife is fairly, I won't say famous actress, but like I knew her, and I knew of her stuff. And Mike Tyson, I'm sure has done. I can never speak to what it takes for people to get over it. I mean, I'm not a Mike Tyson fan. Like he shows up in a few things. He's seems like he's somewhat over. It seems like he's over his anger issues and stuff like that.
Hope so.
But yeah.
But it's just the intrigue of watching that guy versus a YouTube personality, an internet personality that everyone hates who happens to be a decent boxer. It's purely human intrigue
Yeah,
for me.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm gonna go
Uh,
watch that, I think.
yeah. Oh yeah, I'll watch it. Yeah, I watch it just as a. It's a weird thing of like I don't like Jake. I don't like the Paul brothers. I hate when I so in watching some of the lead up to it, people are like, "Oh yeah," and because they got to build the fight up and stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, and Jake Paul, he took the unconventional route to where he is today. Versus Mike Tyson, he took more of the conventional route. I'm like, this guy is not a real fighter. And if I told someone that, they'll be like, "Well, you can't beat him in a fight." I'm like, yeah, I can't. That's not the point. He's not. He's not a real fighter. He takes on these exhibition fights versus people that he probably think he could win. He is not going put him up against real boxers in actual. I know leagues isn't the word.
Uh,
uh,
sanctioned boxing matches with
yeah,
appropriate. I don't know. Weight. I can't. I'm speaking out of turn. I
yeah.
don't know enough about it.
He. I sound one of those people who don't know anything about sports. He's not going to hold a candle to those people. He can only fight. Mike Tyson's almost 60 years
Yeah, he's
old.
58, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like he is freaking old. That's. I know I can't beat Mike Tyson inside.
I made
Absolutely
a
know that.
comment earlier about falling 4 feet off a ladder and hurting myself, and it was hypothetical, and I was nervous. I'm not gonna fight Mike Tyson. It's ridiculous.
Uh, that was funny. And The Hangover is still a great movie.
It is.
Like he comes in, do 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 do.
The earlier when Gio and I were talking about the fight, his comment was, "And the loser gets fed to the tiger," and I was like, "Holy shit, that's drama. Put that on TV."
I forgot. I forgot all about the
But the
tiger.
tiger, the tiger's
That
this.
was such an out of that was such an out of nowhere movie hit. Like,
It was. It didn't have a right probably to be as popular and as funny as it remains to this day.
yeah, I should go rewatch.
I should too, but my list of things to watch is just insanely because there's all these things and we have tiers. And Chris, I know you have tiers too of like, this is what I can watch by myself. This is what I can't watch without a child or a wife or a foreign exchange student living in my house. And so there's only certain times I can watch certain things, and I have too many things in the all three of us want to watch it bucket, and we're never all three home to watch things. Anyway, just me complaining. That being said, everybody, I hope you had a great time, and I hope you have a great week. And my name's Shawn, and that's my friend Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek of YouTube and Blue Sky fame. You know that rolls off the tongue. Okay, YouTube and
Nah,
Blue Sky fame. That
just
rolls off nice.
I have 10 followers. I didn't have a lot of followers on Twitter either, so that didn't keep you from saying that. So
I'm gonna keep it's the fame is the YouTube, the Blue Sky is there too. That's how we reach our audience. And leave all of the positive thumbs ups, comments, reviews, bells, subscriptions, whatever you can do for us. We appreciate all of it. Thank you for that. And we'll see you next time. Have a great week.